I'm coming here tonight to my MP's meeting at Grassmore Community Centre. It's the 1st of December 2023. My MP is Lee Rowley, who is the Conservative MP. No, I'm asking you a question. Why didn't you look into it in 2018?
I can't do anything further for you. I'm so sorry. I'm very happy for you to stay in the room and to listen to the rest of the meeting.
No, I'm asking you a simple question. Why didn't you look into it? We wouldn't be standing here tonight if you told me you were going to do that in November 2018 and you never did, and you lost my documents.
There is no change to the policy which is possible.
I'm not asking about the policy. I'm saying I think there's been three mistakes in my records, and I asked you to look into it.
I can't change policy.
I'm not asking you to.
Going around in circles, I can't do anything further. I'm sorry.
The mistakes are made in records, right? Look at the post office scandal.
I'm so sorry. I can't.
No.
I can't.
So you're refusing to do it.
I'm afraid I'm not doing anything further.
You're refusing to do it.
Obviously, you've been here tonight. You're a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about what's gone on?
Well, I've got it here. I went to see him at the Eckington office on the 22nd of November in 2018 with my national insurance records.
I have one question.
Go for it.
But I forgot the question because it's been a while. What's your name?
Sorry.
I just need to know your name.
Thank you very much.
I just need to know your name before I leave.
Sorry.
I just need to know your name.
We're discussing here.
You don't want to tell your name, that's fine.
So, sorry.
Is it Mr. Rowley? Is it Mr. Rowley?
Look, I'm so sorry.
Right, you know who I am, yeah? I've been trying to get a meeting with you, right, for months now. I've been blocked by your people that work for you, on your office, I believe, at Eckington. And it's because I came to see you on November the 22nd in 2018 about the WASPy women and the pensions and the injustice to women, mainly the vast majority are white, indigenous British women in this country. And they have been severely racially discriminated against. And there's over 225,000 that have died in poverty because of what your government did, and to not allow these women compensation because of the changes that happened to the pensions. And this has been ongoing. The injustice is absolutely abysmal. And I came to you because I was always told I had to have 30 years national insurance contributions. I saw you face to face, gave you my records, and I'd got 32. And when Cameron and Clegg got into this government in 2010, in the coalition government, they flicked a switch and said you got to have 35. So I then phoned the Department of Work and Pensions. I said, can I please pay these 3 years? And they said, no, it's too late. So I was trapped in poverty, in state pension and guaranteed pension credit, which restricted me from ever doing any work that I'd like to do, which is, like, I do, you know, freelance house and pet sitting, because I couldn't earn any money, and I couldn't have any more than £10,000 in savings. So I asked you on that day, I highlighted 3 years in those records. There were 2 in the 80s, about mid-80s, and I had 51 contributions for each of these years. I said, there seems something wrong here. I'd like you to look into it. You've got more sway, you're the MP. Why would I pay 51 weeks of contributions and miss 1 week and sabotage those 2 years? And then there was a year after those 2 years where it said I'd paid 53 years, right? Well, there aren't 53 weeks in a year. So I asked you to get in touch, because for someone like me, it's not just you don't ring the Department of Work and Pension, it's HMLC, and it's a really expensive number, 0300 number. And so I asked you to do it. I never heard anything. I let it, you know, waiting and waiting. Life takes over. Then we got to the end of 2019, and of course we had the pandemic. and lockdowns and everything else. And I thought about it because I don't even want to live in this country anymore. I'm sick of it. Yeah. And because I have only got 32 years of pension, and abysmal pensions, through, when we compare what they get in Europe, it's absolutely appalling. And I won't get the pension credit. I've phoned and asked them. So I'm trapped in an even worse scale of poverty to move abroad. I don't have a private pension, I don't have family, I don't have a husband's pension. So I started ringing up because I thought I've had enough of this country and the corruption and everything else that's going on. And I said, I would want to see you. I said, what happened to these documents and what happened to this inquiry? I spoke to Harry, who works for you. Oh, there's no record of it. So I rang up again. I spoke to a guy called Philip Jury. Oh, no record of it. I said, I'm sorry, but I want, he said, you know, we can't find it. I said, well, that's abysmal. These are my personal documents. Anyway, then I got this woman, I believe she's in London, I don't know, Prue Chapman, who's Australian, Chief of Staff at Westminster. And all of a sudden, because she's got involved, they found them on the database. So then I had them sent to me, but she wouldn't listen. I said, no, I want to see Lee Rowley in person. Oh, he's very busy. I'm sorry. I said, I'm sick of this. It's my right. I pay his wages. These MPs are on nearly 80,000 a year. I said, this is wrong. I'm being discriminated against again and again and again. So being a white British woman, I am 70 years young now and I'm sick of it. This is a sexist, racist, ageist matter, and it's been abusive. And when I phoned Philip Jury again to get an appointment with you, it was like all he could say in the dismissal, deflection, we're going round in circles. I said, I'm not going round in circles. I said, are you going to give me an appointment? Okay. And all he kept saying, no, I want to finish. He kept saying, I said, I want an appointment. I said, when was his last appointment? And he was very reluctant to tell me. Then I went down the high street in Grassmore to the Peak Pharmacy, and I found your records in the Peak Pharmacy, the A4 laminated colour with all the previous surgeries and the forthcoming surgeries. I even went to Tupton when you were supposed to turn up the other week with this lady. And you weren't there, and it was like Secret Service. They wouldn't tell you where it was. Okay?
All right. Do you want to take a seat?
No, I'd prefer to stand, thank you.
So, we've known each other for a number of years.
Sorry?
We've known each other for a number of years. Right?
We haven't. I've only met you once. I don't know you at all.
Twice, by the way.
Well, okay.
And look,
you have been to my door, yes, I agree.
In fact, it was 3 times because I've been to your door as well. So, you have a series of views which you're entitled, absolutely respect and right to have, and I respect them. I don't agree with some of them. I've explained to you before the reasons why the pensions is the pensions. I can't change that.
It's not about that. You didn't look into it.
I listen, please. I'm afraid I can't change that. I know you won't.
I'm not asking you to. You were supposed to look into those 3 years.
We're not going to get into this, right? So I will respond. If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but unfortunately that's as far as I can go. So the response is that there's not going to be a change on the WASPI pension. I'm
not asking for that. Why didn't you look into it when you said you would?
Sorry, this is not how these meetings work.
But you're saying a load of rubbish, you're just wasting time.
I'm not saying anything because you're not letting me speak. So what we're not going to do tonight, and I can assure you we're not going to do, is we're not going to sit here in front of 20 people whilst you shout at me for an hour. That's not how it's going to work. So what is it? No. So what's going to happen is I'm going to tell you my response, and then we're going to say thank you very much. You have every right to come to this meeting, but I'm ever so sorry. Given the emails you send me, given the things that are in those emails, and given the abuse that you send me, I'm afraid we're done. So why didn't you look into it when you said you would? So there's only about three constituents in the entire constituency.
Pardon?
There's only 3 or 4 constituents in the entire constituency in the entire 6.5 years that I've been an MP, that I've just had to say, I'm so sorry, I can't.
Why didn't you look into it?
And I'm afraid we're there. I
No, I'm asking you a question. Why didn't you look into it in 2018?
can't do anything further for you. I'm so sorry. I'm very happy for you to stay in the room and to listen to the rest of the meeting.
No, I'm asking you a simple question. Why didn't you look into it? We wouldn't be standing here tonight if you told me you were going to do that in November 2018 and you never did, and you lost my documents.
No change to the policy which is possible.
I'm not asking about the policy. I'm saying I think there's been three mistakes in my records, and I asked you to look into it.
I can't change policy.
I'm not asking you to.
Going around in circles, I can't do anything further. I'm sorry.
The mistakes are made in records, right? Look at the post office scandal.
I'm so sorry. I can't.
No,
I can't.
so you're refusing to do
I'm
it.
afraid I'm not doing anything further.
You're refusing to do it, right?
I am.
Well, that is an ageist, sexist issue.
Nothing to do with your.
It is.
Nothing to do
There's no reason why an MP can't look into those records. They've got more sway than me. I know other people that have done it.
Nothing to do with your age. There's nothing to do with your sex. It's nothing to do with your race.
Well, what's it to do with then?
Do it.
What is
Can't do anything
what is it to do with then?
I'm afraid my staff are not going to suffer the abuse that you.
No, I didn't abuse them. I got angry, and I was wrongly accused of being frustrated. And I said, I'm not frustrated, I'm angry, because the longer it went on, for them refusing to block me to see you and ask what had happened to my records,
I'm sorry.
they've gone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Berridge. I can't do anything further for you. I'm ever so sorry. Anybody else want any next question?
Yeah, let's get on with it.
What a wanker.
Wait till we've all done and then have a look.
What a wanker.
Obviously, you've been here tonight, you're a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about what's gone on?
Well, I've got it here. I went to see him at the Eckington office on the 22nd of November in 2018 with my national insurance records, because I found out that because of the injustice that's happened to women against state pension injustice and equality, WASPE, and there's loads of women, in fact I've got the documents here, there's over 3.6 million women that were born in the 1950s were victims of what the parliamentary ombudsman branded maladministration, which was created by the government, right? And like I said, 225,000 women, of which mainly white, because in the 50s there were mainly white women that were born here. We had a few Windrush, yeah. So it's a racist issue. It's a white, racist female issue. And these women have died in poverty. And I asked him, right? I said, please would you look into those 3 years, because I think there's been a mistake. Because I've got the records at home, I can continue with this and give you the years. And there were 2 years in the mid-80s, which said I'd paid 51 weeks of contribution. So there was 1 week missing, and it disqualified the whole year, the whole of those 2 years. And then another year later down, right, it was showing that I'd paid 53 weeks. Well, there aren't 53 weeks in a year. So there's obviously been a mistake, and I showed them, highlighted it, gave them the documents. He said he'd look into it, right? So I left it, we got into 2019, time took over, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, life takes over, you forget, and you trust the MP, right? They're all on nearly 80 grand a year. And he, right, never got in touch with me. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm stuck on, 32 years of state pension, with the other three years being made up with guaranteed pension credit. And it restricts me, because I love to do house and pet sitting professionally, and I couldn't do it because I would lose the benefits. There are stipulations in all this. So then I thought, I am sick and tired of this country. I'm sick and tired of the injustice, the racist, the sexist issues, especially towards white British women. It is a racist issue. It's an ageist issue. And I'm sick of the abuse that I have got from the blocking of his staff for no reason at all. I was quite civil with them, But the longer it went on, the longer they refused to give me an appointment, I got angrier and angrier. They denied, the two guys at his office, Harry and this Philip Jury, said, oh, there's no record. I said, of course he's got a diary. There will be a record of it. So then this woman rang, called Prue Chapman. She's Australian. And I said, she said, I'm the Chief of Staff at Westminster. She said, and I've looked into your inquiry and I have found your records on the database, right? So total incompetence coming from his office. And then I said, I want to see him face to face because I was so angry with him for what he's put me through. So she then said, right, I'll get your records sent. So she had to get copies from the Department of Work and Pensions. And I've got them. But my original documents, he's lost them. Oh, and then they did this. Well, there used to be a gentleman working at the office, but he's been left for several years. So they were trying to, he was the fall guy, right? It's not his responsibility. It's his responsibility to get in touch, not with the Department of Work and Pensions, as I found out, but with HMRC. And if you phone up HMRC, it's a really expensive 0300 number. And for somebody that's just on state pension and pension credit, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. That's why and an MP has more sway when you've got an issue like this. Records, they make mistakes. You look at the post office scandal and what happened there. But this thing, he's denying tonight, he's just, I'm not going to deal with it. I mean, this is outrageous. He should resign.
What was he called?
Lee Rowley, and he's the Conservative MP for North East District, Derbyshire.
And obviously, he doesn't appear to want to help you tonight.
Oh, no. He just wanted to dismiss me and talk about they can't alter the... We know all that. It's bullshit.
So it's not about
we were just having
policy.
a deflecting, a fudging dismissal.
I did hear you. It's not about changing policy.
No,
You did
no.
highlight that.
And he kept repeating it like Pretty Polly Parrot. We ought to put him on a bloody perch.
I got the impression he was just trying to put you to one side.
Oh, definitely. It's a sexist issue. It's a racist issue. It's an ageist issue. And I've been downright abused. He's wrongly accusing me of abusing his staff. I haven't. You see, the longer it went on, his staff wouldn't give me an appointment. And it's my right. I want to leave this country. So I want those 3 years sorting out. So I've got 35 years of pension. I mean, it's a pittance anyway. Because our pensions are the lowest in Europe. It's absolutely abysmal.
How has he made you feel tonight?
Well, this guy, he should just get out because he's wrongly accused me of abusing him or his staff. He's the one that's abused me. So it's transferal of guilt issue.
And if you had anything more to say to him, what would you say to him tonight?
I would say that you need to resign.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Pardon?
Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, I can show you when we get back to my house, I will show you my records. And I've got emails that I can have printed off, that this Prue Chapman, she's sent emails, she's phoned me and spoke to me personally, and she's left voicemails. And in the last voicemail that I didn't pick up on the call, she has said, and if you want to get in contact with Lee Rowley's office, I would kindly ask you just to email. So they were trying to stop me even speaking, requesting a call back. I mean, this is outrageous. We're not in a democracy.
Stagecoach have got pretty new buses, so I don't think it's the buses that are the problem, it's the manpower.
Sometimes they tell them, oh, well, it broke down.
Okay.
There was a problem with that about sort of earlier this year, sort of with vehicle breakdowns. But I think because it was that post-pandemic, it was that worldwide thing with everybody, car rental prices increase and everybody, so there was a parts issue.
Yeah.
But I think they've sort of come through that most of the companies around here. So it is like Lee says, it's a vehicle, a driver issue. But yeah, no, I mean, in terms of electric buses, that is a small part of BSIP, and I know particularly the big players, Stagecoach and Trent Barton, are looking to do like some electric vehicle trials, but actually the more likely thing for buses is hydrogen.
Right.
Because that's the big thing around here, and you need the power to get you up the hill.
Yeah. Hydrogen is very expensive as well.
Yeah.
But you need it for the heavy stuff. It's like,
I have one question,
go for it.
but I forgot the question because it's been a while. What was the question again?
Are you going to look into those 3 years and give me an answer?
I'm not. No, I'm afraid we've spoken many times before, or spoken sometimes before. I don't recognise your description of things, and I don't recognise your description of how you've described it. But I think we've finished that. We've finished that conversation for this evening.
What did you say? You don't recognise?
I don't recognise the description that you have described tonight, but I'm not going to get.
No, and I don't recognise your wrongful saying that I've abused your staff. I haven't.
And I respect your right to
Yes,
have that
yeah,
view,
that's right. We know all that.
But I'm afraid no further on this.
So you're not going to look into those 3 years?
I'm afraid no further tonight. Other
No,
questions?
no, yes or no? No.
I have.
Sir.
The flooding in the park,
Yeah.
it comes into my garden specifically. I wonder where we were with it.
Is that part?
William,
that part?
yeah, I spoke to William, I think, on the last one, and he sent me an email with where the...
I would need to check, so I can have a look.
So I do know a bit about this issue from the parish council meetings.
Yeah.
Trying to help them in terms of the flooding on the park, which I know then comes through to yourself. So they did do some work. We managed to get your warm to do a survey.
And that's
DCC did a survey as well. So we did some work. DCC did some, but they then
Just before I leave, what's your name?
Oh, sorry.
I just need to know your name.
Thank you very much.
I just need to know your name before I leave.
Sorry.
I just need to know your name.
We're discussing here.
You don't want to tell your name, that's fine.
So sorry. So
Is it Mr. Rowley? Is it Mr. Rowley?
Look, I'm so sorry. I have absolutely no problem with people.
I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to know your name. Can you just tell me your name before I leave?
I do meetings like this every few weeks so that residents.
If you don't want to say your name in public, is it Mr. Rowley?
Public meeting.
I'll leave you to it. Scandalous. Scandalous.
Yep. Absolutely scandalous. Resign.
Why do you think this gentleman, well, I call him a gentleman because I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Why do you think he can't say his name?
This male, I wouldn't call him a gentleman at all.
Why do you not think he can say his name in public?
Pardon?
Why do you not think he declared his name in public?
I've no idea. Maybe he wants to be covert.
I mean, I think there's better ways of me perhaps handling it, and perhaps
That's why I
himself.
said when I walked in, I'm coming here tonight to my MP's meeting at Grassmore Community Centre. It's the 1st of December 2023. My MP is Lee Rowley, who is the Conservative MP.
I just can't get my head around why he can't just say his name. I'm scandalous, if you ask me.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I've just said to him, resign.